Right.
Delta 5, Roger, report final number 1.
A lot more gorse here than when I first started flying here. Just a few bushes then. Nice breeze coming up from the farm. Often you get to the top of the ridge, which isn't actually the hilltop but the ridge top. You often get to the ridge top and 20-30 feet below there it's almost flat calm. And you can take off on the tandem, fly for a couple of hours. Quite an odd sight that way. When there's a breeze down here, nearly always means that there's a really good lift up there. So let's hope that's the case for today. Haven't seen any birds of prey up as yet though. Right, it was out of sight under the bushes, but the bird, after a wee bit of hunting from the look of it, took off and soared up nicely. So, above all this gorse that has grown over the last 13 odd years. Bit more landslip there. This looks a fairly recent one, possibly just after the snows maybe. And try to decide whether there's enough breeze to pop the wing from here and work up. Bear in mind it works with the comp wing. On a low rated wing you won't always have enough. So we'll probably just head up a bit more, suss the air, and if not, that last 30-40 feet to the top, and that's where the wind usually is. We'll get the wind at Dundee.
Touch and go, surface wind 1105 knots.
Right, so it's dropped off a wee bit. It was 7 knots about 10 minutes ago. But it's probably just a short-term variations.
1105 knots.
Right. So, not that far. Below the top of the ridge. A wee bit breeze. See whether it's worthwhile getting the wing out. And if it's not, it's only a short walk. By cutting along the ridge, the actual top of the ridge drops down. So instead of going straight up all the height, you cut diagonally along, you actually meet the ridge as it comes down towards you. Quite a usual technique for some sites. Saves going all the way up. Because you've usually got more wind and more lift just above the ridge. If you launch at the low end of the ridge, you can often just scoot along and then up into the main area, and then once you're at the main lift, you fly wherever you want because you've got the height. So I'll tuck the camera out the way, flip in, see if we can use the wing, get the wind.
Delta 5, runway 09, touch and go, surface wind 1106 knots.
Just varying up and down, it's been between 5 and 7 knots. (20 to 30 degrees south of east, so east southeast. Right, get the gloves, the hat and the camera. Okay. That will give the slope, you can see the horizon there, good flow coming up here and not that far to go up to the top. See what the weather's like for soarability. So I started from a good bit down there, just using the wing to ski tow. Checking the airspace of course each time, and the wing just gently pulls you up the hill, and it's just like you're walking on the flat, despite that being how steep it is. Recheck airspace. So you're actually leaning slightly downslope against the harness as the wing does the work. It's up onto the top ridge line, so I'll launch off, fly along, and then camera back on. Lovely. Flew along, up, about 80 foot higher, working the lift up that slope, and just into spot land, and grab the camera while the wings still tip up in the air. So, it's about halfway the length of the ridge on that side, and the ridge is a double ridge. There's another long length round to the right that takes more southerly. This is something more southeast face. So halfway along there, and as I say, up probably, I don't know, 60-70 feet to top land. So I'll get the gloves on, have a wee play, and then decide whether to leave the camera on the ground filming or film up in the air. Now from there though, the wind comes over the top, so you've got a dead spot. It's a good place to drop the wing, but it's not a great place to launch from. You need to get the wing forwards and into good clean airflow first. And bear in mind the ground drops off there to where there's the subsidence, the landslip. So you're either off to the side where there's a wee gully, gives a good flow and there's grass at the top, or you can tip launch. So I'll just see what the conditions allow. I decided to put the camera down next to the rocks a bit because it's a wee bit sheltered here from the wind. Got the wing just where it was a minute ago. I'm going to open it out and have a wee play about here, see if I can do some low swoops. Takes off rather than the wing. Check the airspace. Waiting for just the right amount of extra lift. And I'll backtrack ideally, so go backwards about 10 feet, so as I launch off here, instead of having about 1.5 feet of 2 foot of brake on, as I launch here I'll be on zero brake and the wing will be efficient. Also probably step the wrong way, so I'm going to step right, inducing the roll straight into the left beat, which feels like it'll be slightly downwind. Okay, backtracking. Glider's nodding well forwards, it's waiting, waiting, waiting. Turn in a second to bounce. As the glider settles to bounce, wait, 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 one bounce, slow, 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 get the airspace, settle, bounce, and out. Over, stop, nice airspeed, zero brakes, launching. Compared with 10 minutes ago when I flew up the top land, feels like the wind's veered about 15 degrees and the other face of the hill might be the better bet. Alright, it's a nice wee spot landing into the face of a gully along there. Keeping the wing just fractionally ahead of me. So I've got it set up now on the southeast face. see if it's better here with the wind changing in direction, and again, not the greatest lighting, but we'll see if I can do some flybys. Taking off from the east side, flying round. Zero brake and launching! Round the nose and fly by. just like that. We check, we surge, side slip it out and let it settle. That's Dundee Airport closed, so won't be getting any more weather reports for a while, so power down the radio. So put the nose of the hill round to the other side, eastish face, southeastish face round here. Lots of nice little shapes to play with.
Oh no. Mummy, that wind is just